Hey, all right. We're live having a spur of the moment show. Going to take a look at a couple new, not new offerings, but new samples from really good friend, Mr. Lee. Mr. Lee, thank you so much for sending the ice. And I know the reason why I'm emphasizing that. Also, the Highland Park Fire. So we got the Highland Park Fire and Ice we're going to take a little look at. Already a couple people joined us. Thanks so much for stopping by. Uh, Go ahead and type some comments in the chat channel. Also, please go ahead and put some in the comments, after the fact too, if you can. Just let me know what you thought, and like and subscribe when you get a chance. Going to take a look at these, and Lee is a really good whiskey friend, and we trade samples back and forth here well, I'm in Maryland, here's in Virginia. Thankfully, we're close enough to do a lot of different things, and this is going to be fun. I have a feeling the Fire is one we'll start with, I believe. It's a 15-year-old, which is a plus. Also using new audio and video tonight. Let me know how that's going if you can in the comments in the chat. I appreciate it. Hopefully it's going well. I think my sound's getting out, and we're also going to look at this ice, which is 17-year. The ice is 53.9%, and the Fire is 45.2. We'll start with the 45.2 and end with the ice. Now, when it comes to reviews, I've heard pros and cons to both. Some people love the Fire, some people love the ice more. It's just a matter, I think, of what your personal tastes are on that front. But if you go by age and you go by ABV, the ice would be a better option, but we'll see. I've let these sit out for a bit, and just to let them air out a bit. I don't add any water to them up front. Always go in neat first, and we'll take a look and see how it goes. With the Fire, I know the ice, looking at some notes over in this screen over here, the ice had 30,000 bottles. I'm not sure how many the Fire had. I don't see a number. They are 100% refill port season cast, and there is some peat in here, and I've heard they call it Fire because it's supposed to be pretty spicy, but we'll see how that goes. I know they use refill port wine cast specifically on this. So, I think it is going to be. I've had the privilege of having a Springbank 19 port wine single cast, so I think this is going to be kind of a lighter version of that. Is what I'm hoping for, at least, because that is a good dram. It's about the same price. I've heard these bottles range around about $300 each, and that Springbank 19 was also about $290, so it was a similar deal. Wow, you get a really nice. It's funny because you do get the port, the dark fruit, but there's a lot of floral properties going on in the background too. There is a dance going on between the two, so that's a positive deal. Trying to pinpoint the floral notes on this Highland Park Fire. It's maybe it's more spicy than floral. It's such a good marriage between like a sweet spice or a sweet flower. A little bit of earthiness, not as much as a Springbank, but it's different. I don't know if I've quite noticed anything like this, really. Legs look really good on it. Spread out, well, the viscosity is really well held above, so I think it's going to be a nice medium to heavy mouth coat from what I'm looking. Probably more of a medium than a heavy, but there's definitely red grape, maybe some cinnamon, some really nice sweetness. I'm trying to get some words for it though. It's pie. Cherry pie, definitely some crust, some good cherry pie, not the canned stuff. Some really nice fresh. Hmm. Maybe some confection, like sugar, powdered sugar. So far, so good. I'm not sure if we'll go neat first on the palate, then we might put a little, just a couple drops of water on it. 45.2 is not really anything I want to put much than a couple little bitty drops on. So medium mouth coat, not a heavy, but that's different. Wow. Hmm. Definitely spicier than I anticipated. Wow. Caliente, pepper. Not black, not white, but red pepper. We're talking like tamales. Wow. That it's funny because I mean, if you said it was 53.9, I would be like, okay, but it definitely comes across more hotter. I should say hotter than 45.2. That's for sure. The finish was really quick, but hopefully that was just because it was the first sip. Hmm. Nice spices, man. Cinnamon definitely is a first note I get. Definitely a intense cinnamon. Some strawberry. There's kind of a mineral note going back there. I'm not quite sure if I'm fond of it. It's not off-putting, but I'm not. No, I'm debating on whether I want it there or not. Maybe a little sulfur. Maybe that's what we're detecting there. The more as soon as I said that, and I went back for a nose. I think I'm getting a sulfuric note, but that's okay because I can hang with the sulfur. I like a Bowmore Darkest 15. I like a Ben Nevis 10. I like a little funk with the dram. So this is not bad. It's definitely nothing like anything I've ever had. I can't think of another whiskey that's even close to a note comparison to this. So it's strange. Maybe some liver, some gravy. It's getting a lot of different things going on with this. Not too earthy though. Like everything else is balancing it out where it's not off-putting. Hmm. It's more of a savory palate than I expected. It's because the nose thing makes you think it's going to be a sweet, soothing, spicy dram, but when you taste it, it's like wow, it's a spicy, savory more. I don't think I would go as far as like a Longmorn 16 spicy, but it's more geared towards that type of palate to me. Because when I tasted the Longmorn 16, I equated to an Ethiopian sambusa, which is like it's a puffed spiced pastry, like other parts of the country call it different things. I'm trying to think of some of the other names, but um, it's a very spicy, meaty, savory dish, and that's what it kind of reminded me of. This one, maybe a little more towards the sweet end, but it still has a lot of savory notes going on. Mm. Hey, Paul, thanks so much for stopping by. This is a spice bomb. You're right. It's a hell of a lot more savory than I thought it was going to be. How's the audio and video, by the way, Paul? If you don't mind, let me know in the comments there. Very, very, very dry finish. That's the only thing, and that mineral note is still lingering. I'm trying to decide if I'm pro that note or against it. If it's a con or a pro. Wow. This is good, though. Very, very, very good. Intriguing. It's one of those drams where it might not like blow me away like a Kilhoman red wine cask, or it might not like it might not I might not fall in love instant first love like I did with the Macallan Black, the rare cask black. But this is more of a challenging dram to really get you wanting to decipher all the little notes that it comes with. It's more, it's like if you're going on a date, you know, you can get a fun date that's happy, pretty, fun, you know. You can get an intellectual, you know, where it's challenging, the debates there, you know. That's what this dram reminds me of. It's interesting. Very, very good. Audio, video is good. Thanks a lot, Paul, for the just check and make sure. I've got, this is a new camera. This is an actual decent camera, so hopefully it's a lot clearer than it was before in the last video. And the mic is two different omnidirectional mics on this, so hopefully it sounds better than it did before. But I'm not sure if you got to the last video or not when I did the yeah, you were on the Macallan travel retail exclusive black rare cask. Man, that was I saved half of that, and I'm going to save that for a while for a special occasion, because that was really super good. But oh my, I'm trying to, Paul, if you remember, reflect back, think about the fire, and tell me if you remember getting any type of mineral, metallic underneath the spice, back end finish, if you remember getting anything like that. Because I'm trying to put this into words, and it's not easy. Not bad though. It's just different. The closest thing I could think of is liver, like a chicken liver, maybe like a gravy, sausage gravy kind of thing. But I'm not sure if that does its justice when it comes to the description. The nose is the best thing to me about this. The palate is a close second. It's good. It's got the savory notes with it. The finish is where I'm kind of not so sure if I'm down with it, only because it is extremely dry, and I have a feeling it's because of the port wine, the casks. That's my gut feeling with that. Could be wrong, but that's what I'm really thinking. Not bad. Excellent spicy though, man. It definitely is up there with that Longmorn 16. If you like a spicy dram, go for that one as well. With our group, when we did a review of it, I think half liked it, half not so much. Didn't get maybe as much out of it. Wasn't really in a savory dram mood. But if you're in a savory dram mood, this is also a good one. Maybe vegetal. Might be some vegetal, some green beans kind of thing going on the finish as well. Hard to talk metallic, mineral without equating it to something else that. But I think that that's part of it. Intriguing, is it my wheelhouse? No, but I like Highland Park for, you know, what they try, and you know, sometimes they kill it. The 18s to die for, the 15s close second. The 12 is, you know, it's okay. It's a decent entry level dram. Some of the other ones, you know, I've had hits and misses, and this one's pretty good. I think I would give it a wow, man. 3.5, 3.75. That's my It's tough because it all depends on the mood. Tonight I was kind of seeking like a little bit more of a sweeter peat kind of deal. It does have a little peat there too. Get a little smoke, but you know it's the Orkney Islands. It's their peat is nothing like Isla. It's a bit different. More of a, I guess you could say a vegetal earthy peat, but not like earthy Lagavulin, earthy vegetal peat. I'm thinking is what I would describe it as. But I'm thinking 3.75. I think that's fair. I think it's fair. It's almost what I'm looking for. If you are into the floral, vegetal, spicy drams, mostly you're going to give it a 4.5. I'd say. You might be detecting a light mint. Paul says towards the bottom of the glass. You should pick up on a mocha syrupy note. It was funny that you mentioned that before, even just on the nose. My last nose, I think I was getting like a chocolate. I wasn't sure if I was getting any coffee notes to make it a mocha, but I was definitely getting chocolate on there. It's very subtle. It's a very, very light, subtle deal, and I think that's what makes it tough to give some of the descriptions of this because there's a lot going on, but all the things that are going on are extremely subtle and extremely light. You really got to pick it apart. I'm wondering if Paul, did you add any water to the fire at all, or did you go all the way neat? I'm debating whether I should also put a little water on this. He had a hard time with the palate, had to write down white in milk chocolate, cinnamon, pepper, grapes, and berries. Okay, gotcha. Hey, Santa Cruz, stop. Thanks for stopping by, taking a look at the Highland Park Fire and Ice tonight. I'm going to pour just a little bitty bit and add just a little bitty bit of water just to see if we'll save half of this for another time. No angel shares here. We're going to tighten that bottle up, and I've got my water. A little bitty bit, though, we're going to do with a spoon and get the spoon out. Just to see how it handles just a little bitty bit. So I'm not sure if it's going to open it up more. It might actually bring some sweet notes out, which I was really originally looking for anyway. So it kind of makes sense. It's a spice bomb out of the box. So hopefully with a little bit of water, you won't completely kill the smoke, maybe bring in some of the floral sweet notes out. That I'm hoping that's what we get out of this, but we'll see. Have you ever had the fire or the ice, Santa? Just curious. Paul says he went full on neat for the fire, add water to the ice though. Okay, gotcha. That's exactly what my plan pretty much was, just looking at the ABV and knowing a little bit about them. But this being a spicy bomb, man, I might be onto something with this. I'm hoping that this doesn't kill it or taper something that I'm still wanting and not getting, the sweet or the floral that I'm trying to dig out of there, but we'll see. I'm getting more chocolate and floral. It's hard to tell. Sometimes you get that dry glass nose, which is different than your initial, drinking. And by the time you get to the bottom, that residual layer will cause what we call a dry nose, and that's actually sometimes different. Some people I've noticed when they do the reviews, they'll give a dry glass actual nose at the end after the finish. It's kind of interesting. I haven't got to that level yet. Maybe after I do my one way around Scotland, maybe after a while, if I do a second wave, maybe I'll start doing dry glass reviews. Yeah, I'm getting the strawberries and the raspberries are coming more to the forefront with a little bit of that subtle chocolate, and hopefully on the palate we're going to get something similar if I'm lucky. Hey everyone, thanks for stopping by. Wow. The palate still throws me a curveball. This time I got more of a sagey, rosemary, thyme, like a bunch of herbal properties with it. Wow. And the spice is still there. That is so bizarre. The nose and the palate are completely like polar opposites of each other to me. That is an intriguing glass. 3.75 because I do like it. I do like a challenge. It's that one's a curveball though. Are you headed to Rob's live? I didn't know he was having a Rob was having a live tonight. Actually, I hope he's not doing it at 9:30 because I still have another dram to test, so I won't be able to make it if that's the case. Hey, Dram Dude, thanks for stopping by. And how's California? Everyone says Highland Park was at Whiskey Live Friday, but only had the Magnus 12 and Valkyrie. It was not impressed. They wouldn't answer questions about the move to NAS whiskeys. Oh, that's sad. The Magnus 12 and Valkyrie, that's a letdown for the price they were charging for admission, man. I'm not sure what to say about that because if I had spent to go in there and that's all they offered me, I would be a little upset to not at least have a 15-18 Dragon Legend, Voyage of the Raven. I mean, I'm not even counting the Hollister and some of the real high-end stuff. Magnavold, I can't even pronounce it correctly, but you know what I'm talking about. If you just go to HP's website, I mean, they have travel retail's exclusives out the yin-yang that are difficult to get, and that's what you should bring to a whiskey show, not just the stuff that you can just go and get for 30, 50 bucks at the store. I mean, that's don't get me started. Oh my Lord, that's just crazy. All right, well, let's take a look at the ice here. I've had it sitting out for quite a while. Now, this puppy is a whole different beast. This is a 17-year-old, 53.9, which is on the higher end of the ABV. And we will add water to this, but first, it's always good to go neat. That fire finish is still going. It has more of a cherry cordial finish, which I am enjoying. But time is of the essence here, so we'll have to. Everyone says had to pay VIP to get some of the big stuff. Yeah, I mean, I would think that, but at least the 15, 18, I wouldn't even consider that VIP. I mean, if you're talking VIP, I would maybe put their Fire and Ice and some of their 300 plus bottles in there. I mean, that's what they did for Brooklotti with the Black Arts. They brought that and the Octomores, and Glendronach had the 21 and 18 and some of their higher end stuff. I mean, that should just be a given, and I would think at an expo, not to bring just your, I hate to say it, but I almost broke my chip there, rail scotch, Hate to be in front of you, but let me cleanse my palate here a little bit. I'm glad you got to go, everyone. Hopefully you still had a good time and better selections out of the table, so at least it wasn't a complete letdown, hopefully. Glenlivet had up to the 21, Brooklotti had the Octomore. Yeah, so there you go. I mean, it made it worth your while. That's one thing I never had is a high-end Glenlivet. I've only had their, trying to think, like their regular 12, 15 French oak. Trying to think if I had anything better than the 15 French oak. It's been a while since I've actually had any of that. I mean, I do like the 12 for just a daily, nice fruit, pineapple, bright sipper, but can't remember if I've had any of that. I'm sure I've had another one, do they have the Nectar Noir? I think they might have one. Sometimes I get them confused with Glenfiddich, though, on some of their offerings, but I'll have to try to find some higher end stuff for theirs. Let's see about this guy. Let's go over to the ice notes and see what we got with this. This is going to be usually rates a little higher from what I've seen on reviews, probably because of the ABV and the extra couple years in the cask. These are ex-bourbon casks, not the typical sherry stuff that HP is typically known for. 30,000 bottles, that's a lot, but it's still somewhat limited, I guess you could say. I have seen this at stores. It's not too hard to find. Looks like this came out in 2016, so it's been out for a few years. Oh, wow. Now that is different. That's interesting because I do get the ex-bourbon, the that's there, but I also get a lot of tropical coconut is like the first note I got from the nose. And it's not just a little subtle, like, there's some Nika drams I've had that are got some fruit cocktail going on, maybe a little bit of pineapple, a little bit of, this is like coconut pina colada smack in the face. Like, wow, this is going to be really good, I think, for me. I think this is going to be more up my alley. Fire's good, but I have a feeling this is going to be what I'm looking for. I can already picture the those old school candies that were I'm not sure what they're called, but they're brown, white, and like pink, and they were made of coconut, and there's some chocolate in there, some sweet fruit, vanilla. That's exactly what this smells like. That plus throw in a Springbank 14 bourbon wood in that mix, and that's kind of what this reminds me of, which is a good thing. Legs are still there, profound, and doesn't drip too much right off the bat. About the same viscosity, though, it looks like on the as the fire. So we're talking medium, not heavy, but that's what my guess is going to be on that deal. I love that nose. Wow. All right, well, let's tip neat, and then we'll add a couple of drops to see what else we can get. But wow. Salty too. Sweet. Bourbon. Tropical notes are still there. Wow. That's unbelievable. I wonder why they call it ice. I mean, I appreciate it. It's awesome. It's just funny that I can understand the fire with a spice bomb. This, man, I would almost call this earth because it's got a lot of fruit, and reminds me of like the islands, and no matter if you're in Hawaii or the Caribbean. Wow. On steroids, not and that sip wasn't too hot. I mean, I know it's 53.9, but it certainly doesn't taste like it. I'm gonna have one more sip neat because it was actually good. There's a lot going on here, and I think I'll even more appreciate it a little more with this couple of drops, but wow. Nice. And there's some like Pinot Grigio wine almost in there. There's white grapes, some pears, definitely a lot of pineapple, definitely a lot of coconut. This reminds me of like the Balvenie 14 Caribbean cask on steroids. That's kind of what I'm getting from this, which is actually a big compliment because I do like that bottle a lot. Even though I had not a huge fan of the Doublewood 12. I know it's their entry level, but it's only the Peak Week was good. Balvenie Peak Week, I like that. That's the only other Balvenie I think I've had is that, and Caribbean cask, and that was probably my favorite. I do like the Peat Week though a lot too. That's a tough one, probably a close second. That Doublewood 12 though, that's just it. I would love to try the 21. I've heard that's the Portwood 21, I think it's called. That would be nice to try. That's on my to-do list. But anyway, the water didn't kill it. Maybe just a couple more, very, very little. Because I only have a little bit left in the glass. Oh wow, it's so still nice and sweet, and even though I mean the ABV's there, you just do not detect it. It's just not it's not in your face. It's in the back. I think it's because there's so many good flavors going on with the rest of it. I'm gonna have to give me a bottle of this. I have a feeling at some point it's gonna be a while, but this is really, really good. Is what makes it tough is I hate to say it, but Highland Park is great with marketing because once you get the ice, man, how could you not get the fire to go along with it? It's like well, I don't know how to even equate it to something else, but you know what I'm talking about. It's like it's hard to have one without the other. They're so different, and I definitely applaud them for doing something so completely different. Same distillery. It's just amazing what they can do there. I can nose this for days. Palate's just as good. I mean, finish. Let's see what we get. It's there. It's just subtle at first. I think it's one that'll grow though, maybe in time. There is something with that palate, man. It's so good. The burn is there, but it's not a burn where you're like, this is some young. I mean, I guess because it's aged so well. If it was younger, I bet it would be a little rough. But being 17 years and it's just the perfect balance of the ABV and the flavor, the marshmallows. It's I just wish the finish was a little bit longer, man. Oh, the palate's so good. It just doesn't stick around for too long. I'm not sure if I would say short finish, but let's try it one more time here. There's some nice herbal notes in the finish there. How long is it though? There's some pineapple still lingering around. There's some sweetness still lingering around. I'm gonna say it's medium. I think it's medium. I'm not sure if I go long, but it's smooth. It's Cody. I like it. This is going to be a higher rating, I think. It's weird. I wonder if they did a 53.9 and a 17-year version of the fire, what it would be like. Would it be a lot different? Wow. Great. Wow. If that's a 3 point, I think I'd give that 3.75 on the fire. This is going to be a 4.5 at least. 4.5. I'm definitely leaning towards that because the only thing I'm not going to, and just a little bitty smidgen for, is the finish being so dry, but it's still there, man. I don't know. It's the 4.75. Is that out of the picture? 17 years. That's a good long time. Is it better than the 18? Maybe. 18 is damn good. It's damn good. It's like that's what I pretty much, when I'm thinking of, is this a well-rounded whiskey? I always use the Highland Park 18 as like the bar to beat or to at least get up to, which it's hard to beat it. They're 25, maybe slightly edges it because it does have this tropical. It's funny because the 25s, if you took the ice 17 and you mix it with the 18, you get the ice. I mean, that's really what it reminds me of. Wow, just kind of realized that. I guess the only thing the ice is missing that the 18 might have is a little bit of the darkness, but it's very slight, if any. The sherry, I guess, is what the only thing it's missing. But wow, man, that's a tough one. I'm trying to think if that's going to be a 4.75 or 5. I'm going to go 4.5. I think I'm going to go 4.5 because the finish is there, but it's so dry that it's hard to detect after a while. I love that coconut flavor, though. Well, that's the way we'll rate those, and it sounds like that Mr. Rob is going to be having a. No one ever said if it's going to be right at 9:30 or if it was going on at 10. So please let me know if you're still around if he was going on 9:30 or if it was at 10. And if I cut into the time, I'm sorry, I didn't know what was going on there. And maybe we should get like a schedule together. I'm not sure how we could do it. Who would be if we could like alternate who's in charge of getting the times and the shows down, but maybe doing like a schedule where, I mean, I know the dummies always have a show on Thursday and I always have a show after them on 11 o'clock on Thursday. Now, the Tuesday thing, I kind of in and out inadvertently do it. I just felt like doing a show, so I thought it would be a good time to do it. But I guess I'll have to see if we can get some sort of schedule posted somewhere where it's easier to determine who's doing what when, because I don't want to mess with anybody's time slots. So anyway, well, it's a good 45 minutes. So that's I think that's well worth it. And great drams, Highland Park. I definitely applaud you. I'm a big, huge fan of the ice. The fire I like. I got to be in the mood for that. Like I said, if you're a spice lover, savory dram lover, the fire will be your favorite. If you're like me, you like more of a sweeter, you like your bourbon cask, you like your nice, smooth, tropical flavors too. The ice is going to be right up your alley. Both superb. Thanks so much for stopping by, guys. I appreciate it. And let's launch it for now. If I can find the mouse. There it is. Get down here so I can turn this off.